Yep, this is gonna be a pretty long video, so y'all bear with me. I decided to do this. Nobody suggested that I do. I just decided to do it on my own accord because it's a disparity, and I feel like this is the type of content I should do to talk about that disparity. So, like I said, bear with me. It's gonna be a pretty long video.
Ms. Curtis, you say this court date is extremely important to you. You're here to prove to your ex-fiance, Mr. Buckley, that he fathered your 22-month-old son, Xavier, because his denial has left you homeless and in need of help.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Buckley, you say Ms. Curtis is a cheater, and today the test will prove you are not the father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Curtis,
I just, matter of fact,
you say today's results mean everything. Explain.
Well, Your Honor, I grew up with a father. I know how important it is to have a father in your life. And Mr. Buckley says it's very important for our child to grow up with the father. And so, with him being in and out of our lives and kicking us out of his...
Oh. And that's why I didn't say nothing, because I had to put my foot in my mouth. I'm like, yo, how did he make sure you was homeless? It's like, you got DSS, you got places that will find you, but you said he kicked you out. So I'm going to give you grace, because I was wrong.
Take your time. I know it's difficult.
With him being in and out of our life and kicking us, not only me, but his son out of his apartment, we landed in a homeless shelter.
I did not.
And I was not
True, Your
known
Honor.
as Press Curtis. I was known as Resident 1625, sleeping in a twin-size bed with my son,
That's not true.
Sharing-
I did not kick her out.
sharing everything with other residents in the homeless shelter.
You say he kicked you out, Ms. Curtis?
He went to his landlord, and his landlord sent me an eviction notice. I had just had surgery.
Is that true, Mr. Buckley?
Yes, that is true, Your Honor, but I allowed her to live in my apartment at that time. I was being nice to her. She got mad at me because I was with someone else. I didn't want a relationship with her. She told me she was going to make my life a living hell while living in my apartment, and that's why I called my landlord. I was being nice to Mrs. Curtis.
At this point, did you...
Actions have consequences. Not saying that what he did was right anyways, but actions have consequences.
believe her son, Xavier, was your biological child?
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
Miss Curtis, in your mind, while you're living with Mr. Buckley, did you think he had accepted that Xavier was his biological child?
Yes, he said he had a little doubt in his mind, but that when he looked at Xavier, that was his son. That was his child, that he loved our child. He gave him his last name.
Your Honor, I don't think I can have kids for multiple reasons.
It only takes one fast one. One.
So you don't believe you can have children?
No, Your Honor.
Why?
Your Honor, I was in a relationship before, and we tried to conceive a child. We went to fertility specialists, and we were on medicine and kept up with ovulation dates and the whole nine, and it didn't happen. As soon as we separated, she ended up having 2 other children, and that happened in not only that relationship, but with the following relationship that I was in.
So you've never believed you could have children?
No, Your Honor.
So what happens when Miss Curtis tells you, I'm pregnant?
Told her congratulations. Whose is it?
No, you didn't.
That's pretty much what I said.
No, you said you told every other girl you were in a relationship with, congratulations, who's the father? But I was different. That you were willing to step up and be his father, which you haven't done.
I haven't done that because of you.
Because of me?
Yes.
It's just a drive away. You got a car. You can drive.
You were living in my apartment. I allowed you to live in my apartment. You
And
left
still
because
didn't
I
come
didn't
and
want
see
to be
him.
with you.
No, I didn't leave because I didn't want to be with you.
Yes. Every time I came over there, it was pure heck.
We lived together.
I allowed you to. You had your own apartment.
Yes. But every time I went home, you asked us to come back over.
Yes.
Because you wanted to spend time with your son, and I wasn't standing between that.
But you are now.
No, I'm not standing between that, but I'm not.
Miss Curtis, you say this court...
I'm not standing between that, but I'm not going to let you mess with my head. You can leave me out of the equation and see your son.
Not judge, not judge. I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job, but they're supposed to be talking to you, not to each other. At this point, yes, I know you're grabbing context from it, and there's nothing wrong with grabbing context, but they should not be directing towards each other, because this is a courtroom. You can't direct towards the person. In normal of those situations, when there's lawyers involved, the lawyers talk to you in every situation. They always direct what they're saying to the person, but they look at you. But I see what you're doing. I just don't think it's right. Sorry to say.
That's your child. Don't play with me.
Your Honor, I have multiple reasons to have doubt about Xavier being my child.
This is not about your relationship. It really is about Xavier, this child, and his paternity. That's it. When she told you she was pregnant, did you believe that there maybe was a miracle and you did father this child?
Not at first, Your Honor, no.
What happened?
As the months continued to go along, I continued to get older, and I wanted a child. I accepted Xavier as my child, even though I don't think I can have kids.
Joey, I know when I conceived. I know who I was with when I conceived.
I know.
Respectfully, it's too many cases where y'all say that and y'all don't know. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong. I'm just saying he has damning evidence. It's like if you had 5 relationships and none of them bear fruit, and then this one bears fruit, anybody with logic and a sound brain will definitely think, yo, it can't be mine. Not to say that it's not. It still would be that thought, and you would still want to know. Because yes, people are lucky. But if the guy is the one that has the problem, it's rare that the guy is really lucky. But we'll go.
Know who you were with too, and it wasn't just me.
So staying at your house and spending Christmas with you? Who was I having sex with? Your brothers? Your uncle?
No.
What happened during the conception period? It was during the holidays?
Yes, it was Christmas.
She told me.
I was supposed to go home for Christmas, and I couldn't afford to go home. So he volunteered for me to spend Christmas with him and his family.
Your Honor, she also told me she had sex with someone while she was pregnant. So why?
While I was pregnant is different than when I conceived.
Before he was conceived, you were with other people.
No, I wasn't. I worked 8, 9 hours a day. And then I went over to your apartment.
That means you got plenty of other hours left.
From leaving work at 4:30 and being at your house by 5? Where do I have time between packing my clothes and getting a ride over there to have sex with somebody else? Because I'm not a 5-minute quickie.
So take me to the day you gave birth, Miss Curtis.
I was in labor for 13 and a half hours. Mr. Buckley was with me for the whole 13 and a half hours. I have pictures of him at the hospital.
I'd like to see those.
I ended up having to have an emergency C-section because little Xavier's oxygen level dropped and he was in distress. And they took me in for an emergency C-section and my mom came with me. And when I woke up and they wheeled me by the nursery to see him, Mr. Buckley was standing there with tears running down his face. That was the moment that I fell in love with Mr. Buckley. He'd been standing there since he came into the nursery until I got rode to my room about 2:30. That's a couple hours, him standing there just looking at our beautiful son. Something that we made together, something that I never thought was possible.
Something that I don't think is possible, Your Honor.
But in this photo, it doesn't look like. I see tears in your eyes, Mr. Buckley. What do you feel when you look at that picture?
It's impossible to describe. There's no way to put it into words. I just don't, like I said, I don't think I can have kids. I've been there, I tried, and...
When you look at that picture, it doesn't look like you don't believe. It doesn't look like you aren't there. It looks like you're in the moment and you're looking at your new baby. What were you feeling in the moment?
My heart and my mind are at a constant battle. My heart wants him to be, but my mind knows better. What you see right there is my heart.
If your mind knew better, why did you sign the birth certificate?
Because of my heart's.
Why did you sign the acknowledgement of paternity? You want to talk about you have doubts that you couldn't have kids? I went through chemo and radiation. They told me all my eggs were fried, that I would never be a mother. But I'm a mother to a beautiful little boy.
Your Honor, Miss Curtis and I were not monogamous.
It's not. It's wrong for me to point this out. But why are you pretending to cry this whole time? Because I hear you setting up. A tear ain't run down, or maybe it did, and whoever did your makeup was a professional. But why you keep setting up to cry? Like, what's going on? Like, now I'm starting to believe his story more and more every time you say something instead of believing your story. I'm telling you, because it's starting to seem too good to be true, and every time you setting up, and it seems like you're kind of begging for the sympathy or whatever. Maybe I'm reading too far into it, but it legitimately seemed like you're begging for sympathy at this point, and now I don't trust you. I don't, but we'll see.
At the time.
You weren't. You can't say what I wasn't.
She is extremely promiscuous. My witness here can tell you a little bit about that later, but...
So you're saying, sir, in addition to your doubt as it relates to your own medical challenges and not believing and being told you would not be able to father children, you also believe that Ms. Curtis was very promiscuous at the time?
Correct, Your Honor.
I'd like to hear from your witness. Please stand, ma'am.
Hello.
I'd like to hear from your witness. Please stand, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello. State your name for the court.
Anika Bunch.
Ms. Bunch, you are Mr. Buckley's
Friend.
All right. And what information do you have concerning Xavier's paternity?
Your Honor, I have a lot of information. I actually brought a sketch with me.
I would like to see it. The exhibit here. Please step to it.
This right here, Your Honor, this is my house, my back door. And this is Mrs. Curtis' front door. And as you can see, I can see everything. We were friends. We've been friends. I told her, I see you. When we found out she was pregnant, she had a boyfriend. He passed away. They were together. And mind you, there were other men.
So what you're saying is from your back door.
That's not true, Your Honor. I lived at the top of a hill. She lived at the bottom.
This is my house, and this is hers.
And I lived on this end.
Her
She
back
lived on
door
this end.
is right here.
There's a straight line of sight
everything.
from her back door to her front door.
Everything. She knows, and she done came and confided in me and told me about the other guys.
What exactly could you see from your door to
I
hers?
can see men coming out of this door, and her
How?
running
When I
up
don't
there,
even use that
and
door.
her running up to the Africans up at the other apartments up top.
The Africans I
They
was
were her-
teaching English to. Because he came from Africa and
That's a
didn't
lie.
speak English.
That is a lie.
He didn't speak
He spoke English to me.
See? You see it? For some reason, I'm like, yo, now I'm not starting to trust you, because you've been begging for that crying sympathy the whole time, because you know what you did. You know exactly what you did, bro. You know what you did. Not saying that you're wrong, because yes, you are wrong, but it's not wrong for you to want to do what you want to do. Is just don't tell somebody something that's not true. I hope, yo, this will be a crazy situation for you to come out of and have a kid with her. Crazy. It's gonna be a while before you get peace.
Thank you so much for your testimony, ma'am. So, Ms. Curtis, you are denying Ms. Bunch's accusations. Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor. There was other men coming in and out of my house, but I wasn't sleeping with those other men.
And there was no old boyfriend that was still lingering around?
We had stopped messing around before I even met Mr. Buckley. And he passed away.
That's not true, Your Honor. I was told stories about her being with him while we were together. She would go back to her apartment and mess around. But at the time...
Sorry to say, you seem like the type. You definitely seem. There's not nothing against you. I could even be the type and I don't even notice. But you definitely seem like the type. You know, she'll bat her eyes, wink her teeth, or whatever it is. My dumb ass said wink her teeth. But she'll do all that, and then you are just accept it, because at the end of the day, you're trying to believe in people, but that is not the person you should believe in. Feel me?
Xavier was conceived. We were not in a relationship.
Were you in a relationship at the time Xavier was conceived, Ms. Curtis?
No, Your Honor.
You
I
were?
was not. Me and Mr. Buckley were just hanging out and kicking it and having sex.
Casual sex.
So you're on the birth certificate, Mr. Buckley.
And I have proof of that, too.
I'd like to see that. Are you currently paying child support?
I'm on
No, he
child
quit his
support.
job so he wouldn't have to.
I'm working right now. I'm missing out on
Just
work right
started.
now. I just started back.
All right, so here on the birth certificate, father's name, Xavier Buckley.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's you.
Correct.
You signed it voluntarily.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
And is there a child support order?
Yes, Your Honor.
There is.
Yes.
How much per week are you obligated to pay?
I'm not exactly sure.
He was supposed to pay $216 a month, and then when he quit his job, they dropped it down to $80 a month. I do everything on my own.
Are you current on your child support, sir?
No, he's
Your Honor.
$3,000 behind.
Your Honor, I just got my first child support statement in the mail, so it's not like I've been neglecting it. And like I said, she was living in my apartment.
No, because you got child support papers when I was living there.
You checked the mail. I wasn't there.
You were there because you asked me to call and have you taken off child support because you were willing to be with me.
No, because you
we
were
were
living in my
living together.
apartment. I wasn't living there.
Exactly. So why would I take you off child support?
Because you were living in my apartment.
And you still not providing for your child.
Mr. Buckley, if you said you had doubts, you say it's your heart that drove you to sign the birth certificate.
No, Judge, I'm coming at you again. I'm sorry, no disrespect to you, but why you even let all that slide? That's nitpicking, uncalled for, and a person did something kind for you. No matter if they're doing something bad to you, they did something kind for you. Excuse me. It don't matter how long it lasts. It could last a minute is too short, but you know what I mean though. It's like, why aren't you just, I don't know. For some reason when I see these ones, it's like, why the judge don't never really scold the ladies, but every time the guy comes out and turns that the guy is, it's like, what you're gonna do about this now? Like he did something wrong when it came out that she was doing what y'all was saying. It's like, I understand that you have to scold them both at that point, if anything, but you really be digging into the guys more than the women, and the women need it worse than us because they are the ones that a guy cannot come home with a kid in his belly and get away with it. If he's coming home with a kid, you know who the mother is. A woman can't. So at that point, have to scold them more than usual is what I'm saying. But we're gonna go.
Certificate, even though your mind had doubts, did you understand that because you signed that birth certificate, you would be legally obligated to provide support for this child?
Yes, Your Honor. My family made me well aware of that, and my entire family begged me not to sign it. Like I said, I did it out of my heart.
Because even today, if the results prove that you are not Xavier's biological father, you are still deemed to be his legal father. There is no guarantee that the court in your home state will remove you from that birth certificate or relieve you of that legal obligation. Do you understand?
I do now, Your Honor.
That's an obligation that extends minimally 18 years.
I could care less if my son grew up with this man in his life. I've been doing this by myself for almost 2 years.
That's why I allowed her to move into my apartment against my landlord's wishes.
And then made it so unbearably uncomfortable.
I was never there.
You come in on nights after being out kicking it, want to sleep in the bed with us.
I would sleep on the couch. You would get mad at me because I would try and sleep on the couch.
No, you would come and crawl in bed.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
It is obvious you all have so many unresolved issues. I don't even know, are you broken up? It sounds like you're still together.
No, we're not together.
No, Your Honor.
You act like it.
This is about Xavier.
Well, that's why we're here. This court exists because we want to protect Xavier. We want him to know who his biological father is, and we want to figure out how we can help you all move forward. I have the results for you. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Curtis versus Buckley, when it comes to 22-month-old Xavier Buckley, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Buckley, you are not his father.
Oh, baby.
And that's how you know that she know it wasn't him. Look at it. She wanted it to be because He's soft. Look at him. Not to say that it's wrong. It's like, me as a man, if I ever cry, do not touch me. Don't hug me. I don't care who you are. Don't touch me. If I am crying, it's not that I'm angry. I just have an overwhelming urge of emotions right now, and I don't need to be touched. But who does need to be touched in these moments? It's like there's nothing wrong with it. You're in touch, cool. But me as a man, I just found out some shit I believed partially in my soul. Don't. I personally wouldn't go there, because as I hear the information, I'm sorry, Judge, I cannot stand here anymore. I'm gonna walk out. Hold me in contempt, hold me to whatever. I'm out. I'm out. I'm not listening to nothing, because I had that little belief. Because you don't know how that does. It's just the same as the doubt. The doubt could be this small, but so fucking big, and the belief could be this small, and when you find out, and it felt like, oh, no.
I'm very sorry. Miss Curtis.
I wasn't with anybody else.
Obviously, you were with someone else.
Jesus, Lord.
Xavier was born 40 weeks after conception. December 24th to September 24th is 40 weeks.
I need you to stop this right now, babe. He's not the father. I don't know what you're wrestling with, sweetheart, but you are a ball of nerves, anger. You just wound up.
Your Honor, I'm still willing to be in Xavier's life. The way he looks at me, the way he runs up to me.
Yup, I'm done. Nope. 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 You lost me. You definitely lost me. Like, I understand being a good person, but after you said all that about her, and you still no. Now you're doing what women do. You came up here to make sure that she felt some type of hurt, or see whatever that is, or try to garner attention or accountability or whatever the fuck that is. But you don't do that shit if you're gonna be there anyways. What the fuck is the point? You could have just did it on the sideways shit, figured out, and still did this. But now you're coming to prove a point, and now you're gonna sit in her face while you prove. No. Now I'm siding with her. I have to at this point. Like, why would you do something like that? It's like, I understand the kid needs the pops, and you could. That's kind of crazy that you out here. No. She could be right about you now. That's what it made me feel like. She could be right about you wanting to be with her. Because why? Well, what would be the obligation? Like, I understand that you have been there and you can still continue to be there, but you're talking about being there like a father. That means him be picking up. That's a whole nother scenario. You could be there for her and the kid as a friend, help out. Oh boy, this shit crazy. You out here going, hey, to each his own. You do your thing. That's all I got to say about it.